so not everybody in Islam is going to be married. So there's a lot of single guys, especially guys that, you know, in college and stuff like that. When I remember one of my friends, he actually made this little documentary with another guy I know. The classic scene was him over the oven, basically roasting hot dogs or something. He's like, I want to get married so bad, man. I'm tired of eating these hot dogs.
I think the food I eat represents, you know, my life in a really weird way. And I'm tired of hot dogs. Or I'm over hot dogs.
That was his motivation. It wasn't for love. I was like,
I think he had a couple of motivations, but that apparently was a big one. I just remember that scene. So we want to make something easy for our bachelors out there that don't have a lot of time, and so. Welcome to What's for Ramadan. So we're gonna make a grilled cheese sandwich, but this is
awesome.
But this is actually kind of a unique twist on the grilled cheese sandwich.
okay.
So this is going to be with Gruyere. You can use rye bread, so the actual recipe calls for rye bread.
Mm-hmm.
I think it adds a different taste to it, but since we want to do healthy, we want to be keto, we want to make it, you know, as low carb as possible. So it says here, make the butter mayo mixture and spread on bread. Yeah, so basically it's a pretty simple recipe, and so it's just what makes it unique is the Gruyere.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually it looks, so look at a little bit. Your butter should be a little bit warmer than what I'm working with. But
Yeah, a little more room temperature. Grilled cheese is like one of my favorites growing up too.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just like I don't have the patience because I always burn it, because that's the thing. Because I have no patience, so I'm always cooking it on super high, and oh my god, and until like I got married, which is funny because you're just talking about my wife is very advocate of like just lower the fire. You're gonna, oh my god, and I was like, but I want it now. I'm not hungry in 2 hours. I'm hungry right now.
And this is interesting. I don't know if you're a bread and butter type of person. Okay. So this, when you've got keto bread. And then you toast it, and then you throw some butter on it. It's magic.
It's money.
Yeah, it's so good. And so you don't have to give that up, on a keto diet, which is so nice.
One of the fat kid things I used to do a lot too was I would put someone one time made a toasted peanut butter jelly sandwich, but they put butter inside of it on like both sides, like on the insides, you know. And I was like, I thought it was disgusting, and then I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Why did I think of this?
I was like, this is so good. It was ridiculous.
So this is a really simple recipe. So
interesting for the mayo aspect of it.
Yeah, so you get your mayo and you mix it with your butter, and so you got this is so you would do the same on each side, and so you would basically have some mayo and butter on each side. So I've never. This is all new to me. So I've had grilled cheese before, but I've had like the real basic one.
Yeah.
throw a piece of cheese between two pieces of bread and fry it.
I made recently. I made this this like 5 cheese grilled cheese that I found.
That's
where it was very it was Gruyere, or how do you say it? Gruyere and Colby. What's the other one? There's another one. Munster?
Oh, okay.
And something else too. And
somewhere in France right now, somebody's shrieking. How can you put those together?
And it was one thing too, yeah, on rye bread, and it had like this spread, this cream tree spread that you'd also make with some seasonings in it.
Nice.
And but the buttering of the bread was once again it was a cheddar cheese mixed with butter and a couple other like oregano.
Oh, okay.
And that was the spread to put on the thing for the grilling. And I was like, this is it's like all gourmet style. And I was like, dude, I'm doing it now. I'm different.
The pleasures in life as we pass the age of 40, right?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, this is amazing. And yeah, definitely made that. And that's such a comfort food too. Where
So that's what's nice about this is it's comfort, but at the same time, it's like you don't have to give up, and you don't have to like have all the extra fat and carbs and calories. So that's what's awesome about it.
a nice bowl of soup, killing the game. I had speaking of single guys, single. There was another comedian who was my roommate, and he was a chef. His name was Roger Lazola, and he actually goes on from May to September, he goes on the ships and for expensive chartered people, but he was my roommate, so it was great because my brother, who also lived with me, we would text him. My brother would look at Food Network and send him. He was like, "Hey, do you know how to make this?" He was like, "I can make that. I'll go to the store. I'll buy the ingredients. You reimburse me, and it'll be better. But be ready by the time you go." Gained like 10 pounds living with this guy. But yeah, it was always like just random stuff. It was so good. I was like, dude, I don't need to get married. I got a buddy.
You got cookies of bread.
Yeah, Chef Gruyere.
All right, so I'm gonna let that heat up a little bit, and then here. So the recipe calls for Dijon, but we don't have Dijon, and so we're just gonna use regular mustard. And so it would be interesting as we throw some spices on it. Maybe create Dijon.
Yeah. It's crazy the things that you will put on stuff and
it comes out good.
Yeah, it makes it a difference. Yeah, because I don't eat condiments. I never had mustard or mayonnaise. But one time I did for the chicken cordon bleu recipe. I did called for spicy mustard. And I was like, oh damn, but I did it anyways. Like, oh, I'll try it. Yeah. And I was like, oh okay, this is awesome. This is not bad.
That's why people like it.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 4 pieces of bread that are smothered with mayonnaise, mustard, and butter.
This is so different.
Yeah, very. All right, and now we're gonna get our Gruyere cheese. So this is what makes this one special. Is the Gruyere.
Oh, this don't make it special? Mayonnaise, special. Mustard, and relish.
It makes it special in a very different way. We have some more somewhere else, but this might actually work. So shredded is fine, sliced is fine, but shredded allows you to kind of just make the placement a little bit better. Right, so we're just gonna get them around the edges.
Oh, it's on the inside.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it allows it to melt while we're cooking it from the outside, and it should spread nice and evenly. That's what I hope.
Yeah. Here we go.
That's the idea. Let's see if we get that. Okay, so Gruyere down. Boom.
Then
Thank you.
on that spot.
So, actually, I'm gonna we'll do one more shot.
Okay.
So we're gonna just
To
pull
shut
it over. Here, so.
And rolling.
So, layer that over. Pretty simple. So, even a bachelor in college could do it. So how long? Alright, so what you can do with this is that you can put like a top on it and kind of help it heat up a little bit faster. But yeah, basically you want it on kind of low heat. What we got? We give it like a couple of minutes and we're just going to flip them over.
Yeah. You have a spatula?
I do. I do.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's funny because you get to an older age and you're like, you appreciate kitchen utensils.
Yes.
You're like, oh, this spatula right here, this one,
This is gonna work.
this one, I make the best pancakes with this spatula, right? Because there are some tools in my kitchen that I use that I don't like using them, and I was like, so I won't make that dish because that means I got to use that
Right.
stupid thing and it always makes everything come out all wrong, or it always breaks the edges of something, and so I'll pass it. But I'll never buy another one because I already have it. It's such a dude thought process. Like I don't want to spend money on something I already have. But I was gonna say. So I was noticing over here, like this is the Quran right here.
This is just it's kind of a beautiful representation of the Quran, and so so this is actually the door of the Kaaba. So you asked about the square.
Yes.
So this is the door, and so it has that appearance, and so someone just made this, made it like the Kaaba, and then it has a Quran on the inside.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering that. I thought that's how they all came. But this is just like this is.
This is kind of like a
More decorative.
decorative presentation, and so you were asking about that. So interesting. You go back to that story with Abraham. So we go back. So Abraham has a child with his second wife, Hajar, who is the slave, the former slave of Sarah, and so Sarah starts to get jealous. Okay, so even though Sarah's a very righteous, good woman, it's human emotion. I'm saying, no matter what, at the end of the day, this is one of the things that I love about Islam is that it never lets us forget that we're human. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I think about, like some of the religious clergy, whether we're talking about pastors, or priests, or about rabbis, or about anything, imams, like the religious leaders in Islam, you can never forget that you are a human being at the end of the day. And so that means that you have the temptations of any human being.
Yeah.
And so you can't ever let yourself kind of get, oh, that's good in there.
Everyone's fallible.
Nobody's above temptation. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, is that's one of the beautiful things in Islam, is that it always reminds us that, no matter what, you are going to be, you're a human being, and you can be tempted. And so there's a statement in Islam where the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said, and anytime a man is alone with a woman who is not his wife or his mom or his sister or daughter, someone who's a woman who's not part of his family. Yes. That the devil is going to be the third. And how many problems could have been avoided if we all listened to that, right?
Yeah.
So you get around a woman, that's then trouble happens. I'm saying things happen. So she basically starts getting upset. She's like, I don't want her around. You need to, she needs to go somewhere else. And this is, of course, especially after, so this is around the time that she already has her child, and she's like, okay, I got a son now. Like, you don't need her.
Yeah.
So that's one of the parts in the Bible that just kind of ends. That basically, like, you just stop hearing about
that character.
Yeah, and she's like, but that's his wife, that's his son, like, this is his firstborn son. And so, like, what happened to them? And so in Islam, we know what happened is that God told him that he needed to take them. They were living in like Jerusalem, like that area in Palestine, and he said, you got to take your family to Mecca, which is now present day Saudi Arabia. So he just puts them, they pack up and they get on a horse or whatever they got on, and they go all the way down to this desert. And at that time, there was nothing there. There's no human being. It's a dry desert. There's no water. There's no plants. There's no animals. There's no human beings living there. And so he drops them, and he turns around and he starts walking back. And you could imagine like the emotion that he's having. I'm saying, this is a man who is turning his back on his wife that he loves and his firstborn son whom he loves deeply. And so how else? I mean, he's very impacted. And so he's walking, and she calls out to him, and she says, yeah, Ibrahim, and he doesn't answer. He just keeps walking. And she calls him again, louder, and he doesn't answer. And she says to him, did God tell you to do this? And then he turns around, he's got tears in his eyes, and he's like, yes. And so then she says, and this is the amazing thing, is okay, like, he's going through his thing. And she says, if God told you to do this, then we're going to be okay. And that's what it was. And so she sat there, and so she's like, okay, it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the amazing trust that this woman had. I mean, this deep righteousness and this deep like trust in God that she had. And so she's sitting there with, she's got like, the boy's small, you know, he's like a baby. And so she's sitting with him in the middle of the desert, there's nothing there, and so they've got water, and so she finishes the water. Water's gone. And she's like, what now? And then she starts running between these two hills and looking for any people, looking for help. And so she goes up and down, and finally, you know, she comes back, and the angel, Gabriel, the angel of the messengers, he comes and he starts with his wing, he digs under the boy's feet, and water comes out. Like there's like a well, exactly, like a spring that comes out. And so she was really smart. The Prophet Muhammad, he said that she was so smart that she built like she took the mud that was, you know, sand and water, so she started making a wall around, like she walled it up. So he said if she hadn't have done that, that would have been a river. It just would have kept coming. But because she walled it up, it stayed in that place. So then she had water. So when she had water, of course, you know, it ain't gonna be long before people find out, especially desert people. They're like, okay, there's water. So some of the desert people living around the area, they saw birds that only come to water. And so they said, there's gotta be water. So they go there, and so they find her sitting with her baby. You know, they're good, you know.
Yeah.
And so they're like, can we, do you mind if we, talking too much and we forgot?
Yeah, we forgot. That's hella funny.
No, we got
That's
it.
what happens.
That's what happens.
That's what happens when we're talking real.
Yeah. we did good with the really complicated stuff, and then we burned toast.
Yeah, right? That's hella funny.
So we're gonna keep the good side up.
Yeah.
That's the presentation side. And so these people, they come to her, and they tell her, can we stay here? Do you mind if we, you know, can we share your water? Because she's the one who basically owns it. She's there first, right?
Yeah.
And so she says to them, yes, as long as you like share with us. Okay, so I'll let you have water, but you guys gotta let us have some of your meat and stuff like that, and like be a community. And so that was how the community of Mecca started. And so that's basically how Islam kind of welled up. So as you were saying, that he came, the Ismail, the son of Abraham, it's through his lineage that Muhammad comes, you know, later. So that's how it all happened. That's how it got born in that area.
Dude, I butchered that story just as bad as we did this grilled cheese. But okay, so I had some of those dropped. Yeah, because that's why I said like at some points in down the line, I was like, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy that's one of the things that I remember. I was there for that. I went to church that one day just to meet you.
This is how it's supposed to look. We're not going to look at the other side right now, but you can see that. I mean, the cheese is nice and creamy in there.
Yeah.
Wow,
just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. Yeah, be careful so you don't burn it. Because the toast burns really, really fast.
What is that?
Which, it's okay. It's well cooked. Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Well done, bread. So that's how Islam started, and so that's that's why you don't kind of find that description in the Bible, which is it's unfortunate, you know, because that's a huge part of history. You know?
Yeah.
And so we as Muslims, we recognize, okay, so Ismail's line goes through that part of Arabia, whereas Isaac, you know, the other son. So Isaac and Ismail are brothers, but with different mothers, right? And so they have the same father, Abraham. And this is one of the things that's really interesting. We look at like a lot of the conflict that's happening right now. So everyone's like Israel and Palestine, like what's going on? Oh, those people are always fighting. So it's because a lot of people, they say, well, God, you know, promised that land over there to the Jews, and that's actually not true at all, because what happened is that God promised that land to Abraham and his kids. He said to Abraham, he said, I'm gifting you this part of the world, basically, for you and your descendants. And so Ishmael is a descendant. And that's the whole thing, is that when you look at it, historically speaking, I mean, for the last 1,500 years, you've basically had like Arab Muslim people living in that part of the world, you know, that whole time. And so, and before that, it was Christians were living in that part of the world. And so those are all the children of Abraham.
I'm sorry. Stop. Yeah, I'm sorry. It was just
no worries.
a timer for the grilled cheese. Mm-hmm. Can't go wrong with cheese and bread. The ash.
It gets by you. So the mayo, you can taste the mayo and the mustard though. It's nice. It's nice.
That'll work. Good deal.
And there you have it. So an easy meal for the bachelors of Ramadan. And with that, we will stop for this session.
Okay.
Hey, assalamu alaikum. So, did you like the episode? We hope you had as much fun watching it as we had making it for you. So, the only thing that remains now is to hear from you. In the comments below, please let us know what you thought. Did you like the recipe? Was it a hit at your iftar? And if you changed the ingredients, let us know. We'd like to try your version too. And we really hope that you're going to share and subscribe. We'd love for this message to get out to as many people as possible. So in the end, I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to accept our fasting, yours and ours, and to make us among the successful in this life and in the hereafter. Allahumma ameen. Wa jazakum Allahu khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.